What's up, y'all? It's Omar, and for this video, we're going to be looking at Romans chapter 5, verse 8. And the thing about it is, I just feel like it doesn't get talked about enough in terms of how deep and just, I don't know, there's so much to it, that doesn't, I don't know, it's like you read it one time, you don't really process it, and you kind of just get like a surface view of it. But if you really, that's why I'm doing this video right now, but if you really just look at it and really look at it, it is so deep. But anyways, I'm going to get into it. Like I said, it's Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "But God proves His own love for us, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." So in other words, we know, Christ, He was whipped a number of times. He was mocked. He was beaten to unrecognition. He was flogged. It said at one point, even his own mother couldn't recognize him. The woman who gave him birth could not recognize her own son. Just think about that for a second. Maybe everybody else, some of the people that have heard about him, maybe didn't see him. That's whatever. But the people, the person that gave him life, with the exception of God, but the person that gave him life could not recognize him. That's how beaten and just disheveled his flesh and his flesh was. But through all of that, it says, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So in other words, when you were at your lowest point, when you were at your most sinful, whenever you cared about God the least, you cared about, you cared about everybody else, or you didn't care about everybody else. Maybe in some cases, you just simply didn't care about yourself. And it's when you were at your most sinful, when you were, vaping like crazy, doing the weed a ton, committing sexual immorality, when you were watching the pornography, when you were doing all these things, Jesus still had you at the top of His mind. Jesus was still thinking about you above all the pain that He was going through. And that's why, I think it's so crucial that, even though through all the pain and all the suffering, He was thinking about you and He was thinking about me. I just think that's such a beautiful, poetic verse to be read.